Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna finally get to my Goldwing. I'm back from vacation. Easter's over. I've got all these other cars repaired, or at least got them down to where now I can work on this baby. Alright, if you guys remember from one of my last videos, I had mentioned that I had gotten a flat tire on the way home from the auto parts store. And I haven't got around to changing it until now. So we're gonna take that wheel off today and we're gonna see what's causing the problem. Hopefully it's just a bad valve stem. Of course, knowing my luck, it's not going to happen. So we're probably going to have to get a new tire and everything. So I'm going to show you guys how to take this tire off so you guys can do it too. So it'll save you a lot of money from taking it to a motorcycle shop here in the future. The first thing we need to do, I need to clean up my work area. And I'm going to get that jack out because we're going to have to jack that bike up a little bit. Now, if you got a floor jack, a regular floor jack, you can use that to jack it up too. But if you got a motorcycle jack, that makes things a little bit easier. So let me get it all prepped and ready and jacked up. Okay, now that we got the motorcycle all jacked up, now I just got it jacked up to where I can just barely, just enough to spin the wheel because it's off the center stand, so I want to be careful of it. Now we may have to lift it up a little bit higher when we get ready to do it, but for right now that'll be just fine. Okay, so one of the first things we can do is we can take off this little cover here. There it comes. It just pulls right out, at least I think it does. There it goes. Just pulls right out. One little tit holding it on. Okay. And then we'll start taking off the ring of fire here. These two bolts will start us off here. Now, if you don't have the ring of fire, you might not have to do all these necessary steps, so that shouldn't be a problem for you. Now, taking these apart is really not a problem. You just take it apart basically until you just get down to the... It's putting it back together of all these special, wonderful brackets they got in here, and make sure you don't get the sides mixed up. So what I recommend, when you do this, is take pictures and keep your left side and your right side separated, because these brackets only really kind of go on one way, I think, and it's just best to keep them separated so that way they don't get interchanged, and then you're sitting there wondering, how the heck did I get this thing back together? All right, so let's get started. Okay, I just pulled off the nuts. I wanted to show you these so you guys will know that it's got a special washer on it, so that needs to go back in the same spot. So we'll leave those in there, and then we'll work our way up to that one. Okay, once you top bolt out, this thing should just come right out and let it dangle. Okay, careful to make sure you grab these little black pieces here. All right. Let me show you how this goes back together so you'll kind of get the ideal. Okay, you see this? This goes around your brake line right up there. This is actually where it goes right in there. And what it is this piece right here will clip in the back of it. Then you see this little hook on the other one. Let's see, can you see it? That will grab right into there. Alright, so let's see if I can get it to go here really fast with one hand so I can show y'all. Alright, and it'll do that. And that's how that's going to go back on. It will go around the brake hose, and then you'll put it on just like that. Trust me, if you've never seen one of these and you take it apart and don't think about it, it's real easy to get confused. So that's why I'm showing you guys this. Plus, while we're down here, we should always check our brake pads to make sure we got good since we're taking all this stuff off, and check our fork seals. If you don't see any oil or feel any oil coming up, your fork seals are good. If you feel oil here, then you most likely have some bad fork seals and are need to be replaced and everything. All right, so I'm gonna get this moved out of our way, and then we're gonna take the caliper off. Okay, to get this caliper off, we need to undo these little Allen bolts. We're gonna leave this one in here for right now. But we need a 5mm right there. T-handles are the best, or what I recommend. You can use whatever. It's just I have a set T-handles and no problem. Now I've already kind of pre-loosened them for the sake of the video and everything. So they'll just come right off. Okay, and it should be a little long. There we go. All right, there we go. A little screw like that, and then this will back off. For right now. Okay, we'll leave that in there for right now. Let's take this little bracket off for the ring of fire. Alrighty. It should just be these 2 bolts, and then it comes undone. Nothing to it. Alrighty. Okay, to take this off, we need a 12mm wrench. I already loosened them up for us. So you just take your little 12mm. That's if you have the bracket for the ring of fire and everything. Just take it off, and then slowly as it comes, blah blah blah. I should fast forward through this. Oh, these are some long-winded son of guns here. Oh, there we go. Dang, long bolts. All right. Now once we get this bracket off, we officially have gotten one side off here. Okay. And everything. One side off. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, and it does the exact same thing of just taking all that stuff off, what we just took off on this side. And when we get down to the axle part, then I will come back and I will show you how to take that out. Alrighty. Okay, I lied. There's a little bit of a difference on this side from the other side. Is you get your speedometer cable. Not a big deal. It just unclips and you just take it off and everything. Just be careful not to damage it in anything. And if that long bolt will come out. Yep, there we go. All right. Now I think I got this all. Let's see yeah, it's all moved back. That wire's out of the way. We may have to jack it up a little bit higher, but we are now ready to pull the axle out. So let's get that prepped and ready. Okay, let's take this little nut off right here. It is a 22mm. You can use a wrench or a socket. I only have a socket because I don't have any wrenches that go that big for metric. Yeah, I know. I should, if I'm going to work on metric stuff, I should have some better stuff. Oh, and that one came off easily because I pre-loosened it. And it should come off. Here, no problem. Okay. And now we got to knock it back out, as you can see in there. Alright, so I got to go find something that's that right size and knock it out. And please take note of the spacers. We got a spacer in there. And we got the one for the speedometer. So let's see if we can just knock it out nice and slow. Okay, I found this bolt, which will work just perfectly. If you see, if it'll just go right in there, and it should do the face of it. Now, you can use anything that punches out. This is all I could find, and it works just fine. I already tapped it out a little bit. But you need something that goes on the outside of the face and don't get it inside the threads. You do not want to damage it. Motorcycle parts are expensive, and Goldwing parts are expensive as well. So we're just going to gently push her out, and the wheel should come out. Just be careful when you get ready to do it to catch the spacers and everything. So let me get this out and then we'll move it out. Alright, so after a few good taps, she will come out. There we go. Now let's keep this on a nice clean rag. We'll put some more grease on it later and clean it up before we put it back in. Alright. Now we can go, well, yeah, now we go ahead and pull that out. It's ready to come out. Okay, I'm going to need both hands for this. But the wheel should just come right out, and I'll try to get a photo. Okay, I got the little punch out, and it should just roll free here. Let's see what's holding me up here. Oh, got that still attached. Oh, there it goes. Put that off to the side. And we just need to jack it up just a little bit. I had a feeling we have to jack it up just a tad. Want to be careful because it moves real easy. All right, let's see if she'll come out. And just need a little bit more. Alright, let me get this figured out here. Should just come right out once I jack it up. Okay, now that you got the wheel out, I forgot that you got to take this little top nut right here off so that the bracket, the caliper will be out of the way. Now that the wheel has moved out of the and cleared the rotor here. So that is a 6mm Allen. So we're going to take those off and the wheel should come right off. Okay, with the brackets off, the tire just rolls right out. Alright. And just barely. Alright, let's go ahead and get that spacer out here. Yeah, don't lose that. Put that over there. Okay. And everything. Now that we got it off, let's check our brakes. Just for the sake of checking them since they're here. They don't look too bad. They got some life. I've never changed those since I bought the bike. And the other side's the exact same. I already looked. So let's move this tire off to the side. Another thing I kind of recommend if you're going to be letting the bike sit here for a few days, is maybe go ahead and lower the jack and put it back on the center stand. As you can see, it's off the center stand a little bit. So I'm going to lower it down so that way I feel like it's secure, because it may not get put back together today depending on how busy the motorcycle shop is and everything. But before we take it, let's inspect the tire and see if we can find anything wrong with it visually. Alright guys, I visually inspected the tire, and honestly I did not find a nail or anything that was poking that could cause damage. Hoping that's a good sign. Maybe the valve stem has gone bad and just is broken inside, or something's wrong, or it's got stuck. Who knows? So we'll just hope on the bright side that I won't have to spend almost $300. That would be great. But while we got it out, let's check our bearings. If you don't know how to check your bearings, you can take the axle and put it in the hole there and see if it wobbles. If it wobbles back and forth in here, which this does not, it's in good shape. Alright, you can see how good and nice and tight that is. No clacking, no nothing. Alright, so since we don't have to worry about wheel bearings, because I've already checked them when I redid this the first time, or rebuilt this the first time when we were building it. But just to show y'all how to do it, it was worth it. Alright, so let's take that down to the motorcycle shop, and hopefully we'll get some good news, and I will let you guys know. Alright guys, we got our tire back, and she's all ready to go. I didn't have to get a new tire, or a valve stem was not bad. What had to happen is, there was a piece of rubber on the tire that had kind of folded where it got cut a little bit, and it kind of folded up and it got caught here in the bead, and I guess somehow it must have lodged loose or whatever, and it was slightly leaking out of there, and eventually got bigger. But now we're good. It doesn't leak. It's even better than it was the first time I put it on. So we're gonna get everything, the motorcycle over there, jacked up, back up, get our axle greased up, and get ready to put it in. Okay, I'm just about ready to put the tire back on the motorcycle. You can see I got the axle cleaned up right here. Spacer's been cleaned up a little bit. And I wanted to show to you guys where this stuff goes, so that way when you put it back on, it'll be easy. But in case you do forget, it is labeled on here. You can see it. It is right there. I don't know, maybe if I zoom in. You can see it's labeled R, and that will go to the passenger side. Now also I want to make sure you guys, because I won't be able to show this when I'm going to install it. Let me grab it here. Oh, there it is. This is your speedometer cable, and I don't know if you can see in there, but you can see the 2 tabs in there. Alright, and that needs to go on the other side here. Yep. You'll see that it's got a couple of tabs too. That's what, when this thing turns, it turns, and that what turns the speedometer cable, let you know how fast you're going and everything. You need to make sure that they get installed correctly, get in there, so that way you won't have any problems. And we need to make sure that the cable was like what you saw earlier in the video, goes straight back, nice and back. Otherwise we'll have problems if we do not. Okay, so what you're going to do is when you get ready to put this on, you can grease this up, and then you can see this side will slide in the other side if I was paying attention, but I forgot that I already did that. We'll go right in there, and then you have to roll it up and put the speedometer in there, and then push the take the rod and use it to line it up until you get all the way through. You may have to tap a little bit once you get on there and everything. When I get there, I'll show you what you do next. Alright, so I'm going to do that real fast, and I'll see if I can show some of it. Probably not, because it's going to take me both hands to do it and everything. But that's the basic principle, just putting it back on the same way you took it off. Okay, we got the tire just about prepped and everything. You see I got the speedometer housing in there. Now those plastic gears you saw in here, they will turn, so if you need to turn them just to get it to fit in here, you will. As you can see, I got it going this nice way towards the back. That's the way it should be going. Alright, I did pack it full of grease, which is probably a good idea. And you can see this one's ready, so all I gotta do is just pick it up, throw the axle in, and we should be good to go. The fun part. Now, I could probably lower the bike down just a little bit, but since it's not that far, I'll just lift it up and put the axle and just wiggle it in there. As you can see, I got the axle all greased up. Definitely want to grease your axle in case I forgot to mention that. Alright, so let's get this bad boy on. Alright, when you get the axle in, you'll know it's in all the way when this little line right here gets the route right there. then you should be able to put the nut back on it. I don't know if you can see it, if it's getting close, so I need to tap a little bit more. But just so you know, that's about as far as you need to go, is right there to that line. Okay, now that we got the axle on, we're ready to put the nut back on. And if you remember, it was 22 millimeters. So let's go ahead and get it hand started. Just kind of run it down there. And when you got it all about right in there, and if I remember, where'd my ratchet go? There it is. I was starting to think I was going crazy. Wasn't able to find all my tools. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Now what you want to do is just tighten this nut till it's tight. Just tight. Tight. I might have to put the bike down on the ground here to get the full effect. Well, that's what you want to do with that. Get it. Oh yeah. Get it tight. I'll double check it. Alright. And that's those brakes I haven't got set in there quite yet. So that would be the next step. We need to go ahead and put on both calipers. So that way we can spin the wheel and make sure there's no problems before we get too carried away before we put our ring of fire back on. So if you remember our Allens, right there. So let me get the Allens out and get those reset to put in. Grab your Allen latch and let's tighten her up. Now these things should bottom out and go flush. Here, and if I keep the wrench in. Okay, I already got the other one on. So let's spin it while it's up in the air. Oh yeah, that's the brakes rubbing you on a little bit. So she is good to go. Alright, so now we can put our ring of fire back on. First thing we need to do is go ahead and put our big bracket on. That black thing right there. And if you remember, it will go on there like that. So you'll have your 2 bolts to put on the cover there. Alright. Take a 12 millimeter ratchet and socket here and give it a good tighten up. Yep. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Oh yeah, that's real good. Okay. Now that we got that all back together and everything, we can go ahead and lower it down. That way we'll put everything, it'll be on the ground, and it shouldn't be a big deal because we don't need it up in the air anymore. So I'm going to lower it down and we're going to start putting the cover back on. Okay, we're getting ready to put our ring of fire back on here. You want to make sure before you put it back on, all the tape is in there and all the wires will be out of the way of the caliper and everything. And all we got to do is hook ours up. And then we're going to shove it up in there. And then we can start bolting. And then I've got that special clamp in there. And I'll show you guys how to put that on here in just a second. Okay, when you put it in there, make sure that you have this brake line out of the way. And you'll push it in here and then it'll just should pop in. Alright, if you want, go ahead and start these 2 screws so it doesn't pop out. Then we'll get this lined up and put back together. Nothing to it. Okay. Alright, now we got these little 2 pieces left right there. Alright, you're going to take the one that's shaped like this. Alright, and it's going to go up around here on the back side. Alright. Now depending how your ring of fire is set up, mine has a little gap in between there, so that's where it goes. But you take that little round part and it'll go in right into that little rubber part, okay? Now, the other part, you might have to move your wires out of the way here. Alright, if you notice here, it's got a little hook on it. That is going to hook into there, and then this is going to come in front of it, alright? So let's see if I can do this with one hand. It goes in there, and then voila, it should hook. The ideal is that it hook, then you got to line it up and put your bolt in there. I'll have to hook it up better, but that is the premise of how it goes right there. All right, and I forgot they are labeled. How about that? So let me get this on and then we should be just about done. All right, as you can see, I've got it all back on there, and then there's only one piece left on this side, which is the little trim piece that goes in there. You're just gonna face it right. Remember the tit goes in the little rubber. You might have to, oh sorry, might have to get it to go in there like that. And everything, I might have to use both hands. These things are a little bit finicky. Or you know what? I might have to actually go like this. Get those pieces in there first. Yeah, this piece is always fun. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Okay. Well, let me get it on there real fast. Okay, well, fudging it a little bit, you had to kind of move this fender up and kind of move this back and push and pry. Like I said, when plastics get old, they just get a little out of shape, and it takes a little bit of time to get them put back in there. Now that we got one side done, I'm going to do the other side, and then we'll test our ring of fire to make sure she's still going, and then we're going to be done. Wanted to make a quick side note here. Don't forget, when you put this bracket back on, to put the speedometer cable right underneath the hook so it will keep out of the way of the rotor. Okay, on another side note, I want to point out the left side clip that goes on this side is actually a little bit different than the right side. If you remember, it had a little U shape, and this one has a little L shape cut groove in it. It still works the same way. The as you can see right there, the curved piece goes into the slotted. So it works the same way, it's just differently shaped. Why it's like that, I got no idea, but it works the exact same way. Just remember the L shape goes on L, and then the U shape goes on the right side. Okay guys, we got the bike back together. Final test. Alright, let's see if our ring of fire works. Flip the switch. And yeah, there she is. All pretty. Alright guys, that's going to conclude it for today. So now you can change your own tire, your front tire on your Goldwing. Nothing to it. It's actually probably easier than you thought it was and everything. And if you thought this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more Goldwing videos or any other videos from me, just subscribe to the channel and everything. You can also follow me on Twitter and Facebook. I'm starting to get a little bit more active there on Facebook. You can go there and like the page and get some updates on some upcoming videos we got coming along and everything. And I'll let you know when I'm working on certain videos, and I'll try to stay up more update, and I might even post some stuff that probably won't even make it to YouTube, but if you guys are interested, it might actually make it and everything. So just please follow me there. Also, I'm in the process of looking for a parts bike. I'd like to show you guys some more in-depth Goldwing repairs, but I don't want to tear down my good bike just to show you something unless I truly have a problem with it. So I'm in the process of looking for a bike and everything, with or without a title, preferably with a title, so if I want to sell it or whatever. If not, I won't cry. I can always sell parts of it, but I'm looking so that way I can show you guys how to take things apart, put it back together, what to change for this issue, and maybe we can make something running here and everything. So if you guys would be interested in maybe getting me getting a parts bike, give it this video a thumbs up, or let me know in the comments what you want. And if you feel like you want to help donate to the channel, I usually don't ask money for people, but money is tight, so getting a parts bike or anything will be a little bit off in the future, but it is my future goal is to get one, only because having a parts bike is a good ideal, especially for a GL1500. These parts are they're outrageous, brand new, and if you can buy a cheap parts bike for 500 bucks and it has all the plastics on there and it mostly there, you got yourself a good deal and everything. So that's my goal, to hope show you guys do repairs and I have extra parts and everything, and maybe we can get it running and we can actually make some money. That would be fantastic and everything. But if you're looking to donate, or if you want to, I'm not asking anyone, but it's out there on my YouTube page. It says donate the channel, and that will be for the getting a project bike or a parts bike to show you guys further repairs, for any repairs you are interested in. I had someone comment earlier about doing rear brakes, so I might possibly take the saddlebag off. We've already checked the front brakes, so why not check the rear brakes and see how they were doing. I do know they were getting pretty close. Like next time I change tires, I will probably need to get some new brakes, or I will put some on there just because I'll be down there again. So they may come next. Right now, I got some other things to do, get caught up on, but I'm glad we got my motorcycle running. I can ride now again, so I'm happy because I've missed out on a few rides, and now I'm happy that I didn't have to spend any money. Sometimes you luck out and win. You didn't have to spend any money to get your motorcycle fixed, which was great. I didn't have to spend a dime, just about 30 minutes of my time, and then voila, it was fixed. Easy fix. I'm so happy. You guys can't understand how happy I had to spend $300 or something on a new tire. That would have been just whew. My checkbook would have been exhausted and everything. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to end this here. Now, if you got any questions or anything that I didn't cover, or forgot to cover, or you need a little bit more help on, or didn't understand, feel free to comment. I'm always getting back to people, and I always answer, and I try to get back to comments as fast as possible. I was a bit on vacation last week, So if I got to you, great. If I haven't, I will get back to you and everything at the very least. All right, guys. So this is going to do it today. Until next time, stay safe and ride fun.